drawdown curve. If we have seen that when we are discharging the water, what is drawdown curve? To perform the pumping out test, the well need to be penetrated into the soil strata. This is important assumption that if we are doing a field test, for measuring the coefficient of permeability, that means the well should penetrate inside into the soil strata, means the well should be fully penetrated into the soil strata. Then only we can measure the yielding, we can measure the permeability. And the water level, the another assumption is the water level will remain horizontal at the initial level, means when we are doing the test, before doing the test, the water level in that particular, we have taken the assumption the water level in the well is horizontal at the constant. Okay, and but when we are discharging the water, for example, if this is our well, it is fully saturated into impervious state. This is confined aquifer, and this is the initial stage of the water which is taken as the edge. And but what is drawdown? When we are discharging the water from the well, it will take like a cone shape. That is known as drawdown curve, and it is also known as cone of depression. Means the water level at this stage, water level is this stage. If we are taking initial water level at the initial stage as H1, then we can say that the final level as a H2. Means when H2, what is H2? H2 is the head of level of water when we take out the water from the particular well. And जब भी पानी कूदते तो water level, when it remains at the horizontal level, but when we start taking the discharge, when we start pumping out the water movement, the shape of the curve of the water movement, it will like a cone shape, and it is also known as drawdown curve or cone of depression. It is also known as drawdown curve or cone of depression. Okay, cone of depression. And the pumping out test and pumping in test is basically based on this. And pumping in test is basically used for the unconfined aquifer. Pumping in test is basically in which we are pouring the water. Pumping in test is basically यूज फॉर द अनकन्फाइंड एक्विफर. ओके दोस्तों, ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन बन जाता है कि पंपिंग इन टेस्ट यूज फॉर विच काइंड ऑफ एक्विफर? इट इज यूज फॉर द अनकन्फाइंड एक्विफर. ओके, एंड पंपिंग आउट टेस्ट, पंपिंग इन विच discharge can be taken place from the two sides, because the top and bottom it will be made of the pervious strata. So the movement of the water can be done from both sides. Okay, so pumping out test is used for the confined aquifer. Pumping out test is used for the confined aquifer. Pumping out test हमने देखा, field method देखे, pumping in test and pumping out test. And what is drawdown curve? Drawdown curve is the shape of the water curve when we have taken discharge from the well, and the shape of the water, the movement of the water will go like a in the form of cone shape. That is also known as, or we can say that the decrease in level of the water when we start doing pumping, the shape that goes down, it will show like the loss of the water we can say the loss of head, the shape of the loss of head will be like a cone shape, and it is also known as drawdown curve or cone of depression. The shape will be like a cone. Okay, in pumping, drawdown corresponding ready to steady discharge. And the most important thing, when we are taking assumption for a field test, we always take assumption the flow should be steady and continuous, means the movement of water should be steady and constant at the given time. Okay, and we for doing a pumping test, we should always take a two observation well, means for measuring the coefficient of permeability, we will always take two observation well which is completely penetrated into the soil strata. For measuring the yielding of any well, we should take two observations well through which we can find out the coefficient of permeability through pumping test. So assumption what I said you, flow should be laminar, means flow should be in like a streamline flow, and the Darcy law is valid. And what Darcy law says that the rate of the flow is directly proportional to the height difference in the head upon unit length of the sample. That means rate of the flow is directly proportional to the hydraulic gradient. The greater the head loss between the level of water, the greater will be the rate of the flow through the porous medium. Always remember the rate of the flow. So in Darcy law, the rate of the flow through the porous medium is directly proportional to the pressure gradient or hydraulic gradient of the soil sample. And the Reynolds number, the flow should be laminar. For that, the value of Reynolds number is always less than equal to 1, and the shape of the soil particle should always be spherical in Darcy law assumption, and the flow is horizontal and uniform at all points in the vertical section. Means the flow taking out from the well of all flow going into the well should be uniform. Means the water level at each point, each point will remain same in the vertical section. Aquifer is homogeneous with uniform permeability. Means the aquifer means the discharge at all point will be same and should be with the coefficient of permeability at all cross section, at all point of cross section of the well should be same. Okay, and the well penetrate into the entire thickness of the aquifer, and the natural water underwater regime affecting the aquifer remain constant with the time. Means the head level will at the initial stage will remain same, and when the water goes down, the water state level will become different. So we need 2 observation well to find the coefficient of permeability of any well.